This is a response to Michael Baisden's question, do men know what they want? I can't answer for men. I can only answer for my experience. I met a gentleman. I was getting ready for a biopsy to determine whether I had cancer or not in my breast. I met this man, and this man came into my life just as I was getting ready to have my biopsy. He went to every doctor visit with me. He was there for me. I ended up having breast cancer and having both my breasts removed. He was there in the hospital with me. He washed my butt in the hospital. He paid my bills. He waited on me hand and foot. I later found out that there were other women. And yes, I was hurting. Yes, I was devastated. I wanted him to be truthful with me. He wasn't. And so I had a choice to make. Do I say, oh, I'm so angry with you and walk out? Or do I stay? I had to look at the bigger picture. There was no other person in my life that would have did the things that he did for me. No man came forward. No other man in my life came forward. He stepped up to the plate. And so, yes, I was devastated about the other women. Yes, I was hurt. But to go through what I went through and for us to go through that together, he was my rock. And I stayed. I was angry at first, and I did stop talking to him for a while. And we started, our relationship, back up. And I was able to accept him for who he is. I can't say why men don't tell the truth. Whatever their reason, you would have to men would have to respond to this. But I was not settling. Society has told us that if we are with a man and he has other women, that we're settling. This man treated me like a queen. This man, when he was with me, he was with me. I had no reason to believe that there were other women. And when we talked about it, I said, how is it that you have other women? I said, what I heard is that you treat all the women good. And so I had to ask myself, how can you be angry with someone that treats everyone good? He treats me good. I can't worry about what he's doing with somebody else. I can only worry and protect myself. And so I looked at the bigger picture of him being able to do what I needed in my life, and he was there for me. So I couldn't judge him on the things that he was or his life beyond me. I only knew what he was to me. So to women, society tells us all the time that we're settling, but every woman's situation is different. Every man is different. I can't speak on whatever I choose or whatever I choose to chew, you can't swallow it. So before you bash me, you don't understand my situation. It's not for you to understand. But this is what I went through, and I chose to stay. And we still have a good relationship. I accept him for who he is, and life goes on. So the choice is yours.
Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. I don't even look. Oh, God, oh, God. I don't even know where to begin on this one. Lord have mercy. I don't even know where to start. All right, let's just jump into first off the bat. Okay, so she says that she met this man when she was about to have a biopsy and she was diagnosed with breast cancer in both breasts. Now, the first thing that jumps out to me is whenever we get these diseases in any part of our body, we need to take a look at ourselves and see what environment that we create inside of our body to facilitate this disease, to give this disease what it is, this dis-ease, what it needed to grow, flourish, and exist inside of our temple, inside of our environment. Look at the part of your body where this dis-ease is, and then work backwards from there to see, because it's like our bodies can't process emotion. We have eyes that can cry, mouths that can speak, but our bodies, when we have unprocessed emotion, it shows up. Our body speaks to us through this dis-ease. So it's like we got to take a look at what's happening on the inside of us. So if we get something that happens to our throat, where is it that we're not speaking up at? When we look at her and this breast situation, okay. We have our heart chakra over here. What do the breasts represent? Nourishment, feeding, giving. All right. So let's my first questions. I have so many questions. So many questions. My first question is, who was she before this cancer? What was it that existed inside of her life? All right. For those of you who know me, you know that I'm psychic. And you know that I use clairsentient, clairvoyance, as well as intuition. So let's just tap into some of your intuition, just from what it is that you gathered from watching this video, seeing her face, seeing her speak, looking at her presentation, the makeup, the hair, the look on her face, looking inside of her eyes, and then hearing what it is that she's saying. Because as a life coach, people will say things to you, but you have to really hear what it is that they're communicating. You have to see, because you know how people say read between the lines. I never understood that phrase until I realized that we talk, but underneath all of that talk, in between, what are we really saying? So let's talk about what it is that she's saying. This is what she's saying. So she got this dis-ease in her breast area. She met this gentleman right around the time that she was going through this. And while she was in the hospital, he, quote unquote, stepped up and listened to what she said. Nobody else. That's one thing that just stood out above the cloud. It just floated up there and just kind of stood out for me. Nobody else? Not a friend? Not a cousin? Not nobody. I was gonna say a coworker, but I don't think a coworker would really wipe your butt. Because she said he went there. All right, but not a coworker. Why am I saying Not nobody. No cousins. Nobody. Even if you don't have immediate. Even if you don't have the family that's blood. No family that's water. So it's like there's some things that are just jumping out at me about what was going on with her before this situation. I'm saying, just take a look at her. Just, does she seem happy? Was she happy before she'd gotten this disease? You know, I believe it was Einstein that says you can't solve the problem with the same mindset that created it. What was going on in her life and in her relationships that existed that precipitated this disease? What were the dysfunctions that existed in her heart chakra, in her nurturing center? What were the dysfunctions that existed there that ultimately showed up as dis-ease inside of her body? So that's number one. Number two, so she found out that he wasn't truthful. Oh, God. You know something? I kept hearing her say, he treated me like a queen. Let's ask ourselves, what is queen treatment? What does it mean to be treated like a queen? Does a queen deserve honesty? Does a queen deserve a person who's telling her the truth? Does a queen deserve a person who is forthright with her? What is her definition of a queen? Wiping butt? Coming to the hospital? Paying bills? You know what? That's another thing. I didn't write this on my notes, but that's another thing that stuck out to me. Because any woman who has ever dated a successful man knows that successful men are busy. So he had money to pay all of these bills, but he wasn't too busy to be at this hospital all the time, every doctor's appointment. We have parents who can't go to every one of their children's plays, but he was at every doctor's appointment. So then it makes me wonder about him. Who is this man, and of what caliber is this man? So I'm thinking we got a man here on some sort of SSI or disability or some sort of something. There's something going on with this man, that he has money enough to pay all of this stuff, but has time enough to not work for it. Or maybe he's a trust fund baby. I don't know. There were a few things that just stood out at me. So let's talk. She says she was devastated. She was hurt, and that he was her rock. He was her rock. So I read on the internet some people who were talking about, oh, she doesn't have low self-esteem, blah, 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 blah. He was her rock. It's like in the times of our largest struggles, that's when we find out the strength that we have inside of us. And the fact that during her sickness and all of this other stuff, that she didn't pull upon herself, that there was nobody else, and that some person that she just met, quote unquote, became her rock. Not herself. She didn't pull upon herself. She didn't pull upon that warrior spirit, that queenly energy inside of her. Some other person who was lying to her, who was not being truthful to her, was her quote unquote rock. Let's talk about some more. Let's talk about some more. Okay. She said that she was angry and she stopped speaking to him for a while, but nobody else stepped up. What is this telling you? What is this communicating to you? That she realized that this situation was not acceptable. She decided to do what she needed to do for her, but that there was nobody else around. And so she went back into the foolishness and the effery. Okay. You know, there's so much that stands out on this for me. So if there were somebody else, that's another thing. Did she ever talk about her with other men? Who it is that she was dating? Okay, so this man did all of these things, but he wasn't truthful and he had all of these other women. I think if we read between the lines, what she's really communicating is, I was ill. I didn't have anybody else. This man came into my life. We were dating and he was seeing other women. I was not seeing other men. Listen. So she was being faithful to this man who was going out doing goodness knows what. And then she said something really important. I had no reason to believe that he was with other women. How about the truth? The reason to believe that he's with other women is because he communicates to you that exactly what it is that you guys are doing. You know, we keep talking about men being leader and head of household. Where is this man leading her? What is it that he's demonstrating about who it is that he is and the caliber of his person? So then she says, she was devastated. He was everything that she needed in her life at the time. Okay. So then that makes him a good friend. How does that make, okay, a good friend, a good play cousin, your bottom B, whoever. But that doesn't make him a boyfriend. That doesn't make him your man. It makes him an all right person who did some things for you when you were in need. But okay, when you were no longer in need, did you continue to see other people? She kept talking in past tense. She slipped into past tense when she said, he treated me like a queen. So I'm like, oh, okay, so is he no longer treating you like a queen since you're talking about that in past tense? All right. So then what else? She said that she couldn't judge him. She chose to stay and all this stuff. Okay. Look. Bottom line, if you're listening to what it is that she's communicating because at some point she knew that there was something that was not right. I don't have an issue with him being in open relationships. I don't have an issue with him liking to date other people. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is the fact that he lied and he cheated, because underneath those lies and underneath the cheating is not a good person. There's a person who they themselves have some brokenness that they need to heal. So when we start talking about perpetuating this cycle so that this woman is in this situation where she had a life which created dis-ease in her body, she gets into this situation, and I have a feeling as an intuitive person that she's perpetuating more of the same, that this is not something that was new for her, that she actually has been on a vicious cycle all throughout her life. Look at nobody else, not a friend. Let me ask you a question. If you went into the hospital, double mastectomy, there would be no one there for you? And if there would be no one, ask yourself why not, and what brokenness exists inside of you. So look, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I want to hear your comments below. I know everybody's not going to agree with me, and that's fine. But I think that this situation is highly problematic because she's, okay, look, I have no problem. Look, as a woman, I have no issue with her being in a situation in which she is being nourished in the ways that she needs to be nourished. She spoke of several troubling things about trying to leave the situation, coming back to the situation, and accepting less than what she herself knew that she deserved. Everybody deserves somebody to be truthful. If this man was all of that, he would be forthright. And look, let's talk about what it is, who it is that this man is. All right. He got all this money and all this time for not only her, but multitudes of women all over the place. How much is this man investing in himself as a human being and getting to where it is that he needs to be as a human, so much so that he doesn't have to lie to people, so that he doesn't have to be walking and strutting around and creeping behind people's backs. Oh, speaking of people, she said a few things that just kind of stood out. Let me ask you if you picked up on it. She said she heard he was good to these other women. She also said that she found out. Apparently, she didn't find out from him. So whoever this man is and however the messiness existed, she found out. And then she also heard, who are these people that were telling her how good he was? Because she asked him, how is it that you're able to do this? Which means he's not the one who told her. So there was some messiness, some drama. We're talking about a woman who is recovering from a double mastectomy, recovering from cancer, engaging herself in all of this drama and mess and messiness and perpetuating whatever it was, because we have these patterns. All of us are acting out patterns, scripts that continue to play over and over and over in our lives unless we say, no, stop. And she got sick and still is perpetuating this mess. Does she have low self-esteem? I don't know whether or not she has low self-esteem, but let's talk about self-love, right? Self-love is having people around you who love you in a way that you would love yourself. Having people around who have your best interest at heart. Having people around who will help you ascend to your greatest version of you and you for them. What did this man bring into her life besides what a good orderly and some insurance could have done? What did he bring into her life? He brought lies. He brought some sort of drama. He brought some questioning whether or not she was enough, whether or not she deserved the truth, whether or not she should leave or stay. Because after all of this, after all the lies, he stayed up in her face. He stayed in her face. It's not like he said, you know what? I'm going to let you heal. He stayed in her face with this stuff, with these women, with this. You know what it does to a person? Knowing that their partner is out there and she had nobody else, so she's faithful to him. She never, look, I want to hear your thoughts below. I don't know whether or not this man is a pimp, a player, or a hustler. I don't know. But I know he's a liar. I know he's a cheater. And I know that he has multitudes of time to be spending. What is he doing with his life? He has multitudes of time for all of these different women, but doesn't have the time to be honest, to be truthful. Who is he as a man? You want to talk about a leader? Like I asked, where is he leading her? And where are the people inside of your life leading you to? I want to hear, listen, and no matter what, let's talk about disease before I get out of here. No matter where it is inside of your body that it exists, if you have an illness anywhere, work backwards from it and ask yourself, is this woman asking herself the questions? Because I'm sure if she started asking herself the question, she would see that the same mindset that created the problem is the same one that has her on the internet now over there talking about women are not settling. Listen, let me get out of here. I love you all very much. Give me a hug. Tonya TKO. I invite your questions below and I am out. Peace.